The world of celebrity and royalty is often filled with stories that move quickly, sometimes faster than the truth itself. Recently, attention has turned once again toward Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, as new rumors and discussions began spreading across media circles. This time, the focus is linked to comments reportedly connected to Kevin Costner, a respected name in Hollywood known for his long career and strong reputation. According to various online discussions and reports, a situation at a charity event in Santa Barbara may have led to a shift in how some industry insiders view the Sussexes. While many of these claims remain unconfirmed, the story has grown quickly, drawing attention from both entertainment audiences and those who closely follow the British royal family. What makes this situation interesting is not just the names involved, but how quickly a private moment can turn into a global conversation. In today's digital world, even a small comment or gesture can be interpreted in many ways, especially when it involves public figures who are constantly under the spotlight. As the story began to spread, people started asking questions about what really happened, whether there was any truth behind the claims, and how it might affect the public image of those involved. For years, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have tried to build a new life in California after stepping away from their official royal roles. They entered the world of media and entertainment, signing deals and working on projects that aim to share their story and support causes they care about. At first, many in Hollywood welcomed them, seeing their global recognition as a strong advantage. However, as with any public figures, their journey has not been without challenges. Public opinion has shifted at different times, sometimes in their favor and sometimes against them. Now, with these new discussions involving Kevin Costner, some observers believe there could be another shift taking place, although it is important to remember that much of this is still based on speculation rather than confirmed facts. The situation reportedly began at a high-profile charity event held in Santa Barbara, an area known for hosting exclusive gatherings attended by influential people from both Hollywood and business circles. These events are often more than just fundraisers. They're places where connections are made, partnerships are discussed, and reputations are quietly shaped. According to some accounts, the atmosphere at this particular event felt slightly different from what people expected. While everything appeared normal on the surface, with guests dressed elegantly and conversations flowing, a few observers claimed there was a sense of distance in certain interactions. In particular, reports suggested that Kevin Costner's behavior toward Meghan Markle seemed polite but reserved. There were no public arguments or dramatic moments, but some insiders believed that the lack of warmth stood out in a setting where friendliness is usually expected. It is important to note that these observations come from unnamed sources, and without direct confirmation, they should be treated carefully. Still, such stories often gain attention because they involve well-known personalities and leave room for interpretation. As these reports continued to spread, they began to evolve, with some versions of the story suggesting that Costner later made comments that added to the speculation. These claims, however, remain unclear and have not been supported by solid evidence. Despite this, the story quickly moved beyond the event itself, reaching media outlets and online platforms where discussions can grow rapidly. In situations like this, the line between fact and rumor can become blurred, making it difficult for audiences to know what truly happened. What is clear, though, is that the combination of Hollywood influence and royal connections creates a powerful mix that naturally attracts attention. When people hear that a respected figure like Kevin Costner may have taken a stance, even indirectly, it can shape how others interpret the situation. Whether or not these claims prove to be true, the conversation itself shows how sensitive public image can be, especially for individuals like Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, whose lives continue to be watched closely by millions around the world. As the discussion around the Santa Barbara event continued to spread, more attention began shifting toward how such moments can influence perception within the entertainment industry. Hollywood has always been a place where relationships quietly shape opportunities, and even small changes in behavior can carry meaning. For public figures like Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, this environment can be both welcoming and challenging at the same time. After stepping away from royal duties, the couple entered this world with strong global recognition and a story that many people found compelling. They signed major deals, including projects with streaming platforms, and position themselves as voices for social causes. In the early stages, this move seemed to open many doors, with companies and producers interested in working with them. However, over time, maintaining that momentum has required careful balance. In Hollywood, reputation is not only built on fame, but also on consistency, trust, and the ability to collaborate smoothly with others. This is why even small rumors or unclear situations can become important, especially when they involve respected figures such as Kevin Costner. Known for his long career and generally private nature, Costner is not someone who often becomes part of public controversy. Because of this, any suggestion that he may have taken a firm position, even indirectly, naturally draws attention. Industry observers often watch these moments closely, not because they provide clear answers, but because they may hint at larger shifts happening behind the scenes. It is also worth understanding that Hollywood does not always react in obvious ways. Decisions about future projects, partnerships, or invitations are often made quietly, without public explanation. This makes it difficult to know whether any real change has occurred or whether the situation is simply being discussed more than usual due to media attention. In cases like this, perception itself can become powerful. If enough people begin to believe that a shift is happening, that belief can influence behavior, even if the original claims remain unproven. For Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, this means that managing public image remains just as important as ever, especially in a space where reputation can directly affect professional opportunities. At the same time, the conversation has not remained limited to Hollywood. Because of their connection to the British royal family, any story involving the Sussexes often reaches across the Atlantic and into royal discussions as well. The monarchy has faced several challenges in recent years, including ongoing public scrutiny and the need to maintain stability during times of change. Figures like Prince Andrew have already shown how controversies can impact the institution's image, making it especially sensitive to new developments. While there is no confirmed link between the current situation and any official royal response, the nature of modern media means that even indirect associations can create concern. Advisors within the royal household are known to monitor public narratives closely, particularly when they involve members of the family, whether active or not. This is because public perception plays a key role in how the monarchy is viewed both within the United Kingdom and internationally. For Prince Harry, who has already navigated a complex relationship with the institution since stepping back from royal duties, moments like this can bring renewed attention. Even if the situation began as a small or unclear interaction at a private event, the involvement of well-known figures can quickly elevate it into a larger discussion. What makes this especially important is the speed at which stories now travel. Social media platforms, online videos, and digital news outlets allow information to spread almost instantly, often without full verification. This creates an environment where speculation can grow rapidly, sometimes outpacing the facts. In such a setting, it becomes difficult for audiences to separate what is confirmed from what is simply suggested. For those following the story, it is important to approach it with caution, recognizing that not every detail may be accurate. At the same time, the ongoing attention highlights how closely the lives of public figures are watched and how even minor events can become part of a much larger narrative. As the situation continues to develop, many people are left wondering whether this is just another passing moment in the ongoing story of the Sussexes, or if it signals something more lasting within both Hollywood and royal circles. As conversations continued to grow, some observers began to look beyond the event itself and focus on the broader idea of reputation, especially in a time when public image can change very quickly. For figures like Meghan Markle, reputation has always been a central part of her public journey. From her early acting career to her time as a working royal and now as a media figure in California, her image has been shaped by both support and criticism. The same can be said for Prince Harry, whose decisions over the past few years have kept him in the global spotlight. Together, they have created what many describe as the Sussex brand, a combination of royal history, personal storytelling, and modern media influence. This brand has opened doors, but it has also faced ongoing pressure. In industries like entertainment and media, perception often matters just as much as reality. If a person is seen as reliable, cooperative, and positive to work with, opportunities tend to grow. On the other hand, even the suggestion of controversy can make companies pause and reconsider. This is why the recent discussions involving Kevin Costner have attracted attention, even without clear confirmation. Costner's reputation as a steady and respected figure gives weight to any situation in which his name is involved. For many years, he has been known for focusing on his work rather than public drama, which makes any reported tension seem unusual. Because of this, some people believe that even a small sign of distance could suggest a deeper issue, while others argue that it may simply be a misunderstanding or an overreaction by observers. In truth, without direct statements from those involved, it is impossible to know for certain. However, the discussion itself highlights how quickly narratives can form. Once a story begins to spread, it often develops its own momentum, with different versions appearing across platforms. Each retelling can add new details or interpretations, making the situation seem larger and more complex than it may have been in reality. This process is not new, but it has become faster and more visible in the digital age, where millions of people can engage with a story within hours. Another important part of this situation is how businesses and media companies respond to uncertainty. In today's entertainment industry, partnerships are often built on careful planning and risk management. Companies invest large amounts of money in projects, and they want to protect those investments as much as possible. This is why many agreements include what are known as morality clauses, which allow companies to reconsider their involvement if a public figure becomes linked to controversy. For the Sussexes, who have worked with major platforms on content and storytelling projects, this adds another layer of importance to how they are perceived. Even if the current situation is based mostly on speculation, companies may still take notice, simply because public conversation has the power to influence audiences. This does not mean that any immediate changes will happen, but it does mean that decision-makers are likely paying attention. At the same time, representation agencies, which manage careers and negotiate deals, also play a key role. These agencies work to maintain strong relationships between their clients and industry partners, and they must consider how any situation might affect those relationships. For someone like Meghan Markle, whose career now depends largely on media and business ventures, maintaining a stable and positive image is essential. Prince Harry's role in these projects also adds complexity, as his royal background continues to shape public interest. Together, they represent a unique position that blends tradition with modern celebrity culture. This can be a strength, but it can also bring challenges, especially when unexpected stories begin to circulate. As the conversation around the Santa Barbara event and Kevin Costner's reported remarks continues, it serves as a reminder of how interconnected today's world has become. A moment in one setting can quickly influence discussions in many others, from Hollywood boardrooms to royal commentary. For audiences, the key question remains whether these discussions reflect a real shift or simply the natural rise and fall of attention that often surrounds high-profile individuals. In either case, the situation shows that public life at this level is rarely simple, and even the smallest details can carry unexpected weight. As the story continued to circulate, attention slowly moved toward another important area: how institutions like the British monarchy respond to situations that may affect their image, even indirectly. While Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are no longer working royals, their connection to the royal family still keeps them linked to its public reputation. This means that whenever their names appear in major discussions, especially those involving controversy, there is often a wider impact. In recent years, the monarchy has already faced several challenges, and maintaining stability has become a key priority. Figures like King Charles III have worked to guide the institution through a period of change, while also managing public expectations in a modern world where transparency is often demanded. Because of this, even unconfirmed stories can create concern, particularly if they begin to grow in size and reach. Reports suggest that royal advisors tend to monitor such developments carefully, not because every rumor requires action, but because understanding public sentiment is essential. When conversations begin to gain traction across media platforms, they can influence how people view the monarchy as a whole. This is especially true when past controversies are still remembered by the public. The case of Prince Andrew remains a clear example of how reputational issues can affect the institution. His association with the wider scandal involving Jeffrey Epstein led to significant consequences, including stepping back from royal duties and losing certain roles. Because of this history, any new discussion that even indirectly connects royal figures to sensitive topics can quickly raise concern, even if there is no clear evidence supporting the connection. This does not mean that the current situation involving Meghan Markle and Kevin Costner has reached that level, but it does explain why such stories are taken seriously within royal circles. The monarchy operates on tradition and public trust, and protecting that trust is always a priority. As a result, advisors are likely to consider different possibilities, even if no immediate action is required. At the same time, discussions have also touched on the idea of how far the monarchy could go if a situation were to escalate. Some commentators have mentioned historical laws, such as the Titles Deprivation Act of 1917, which allows for the removal of royal titles under certain conditions. While this law exists, it is rarely used and would require a complex process involving both legal and political steps. Bringing such an option into modern discussion shows how seriously some observers are thinking about reputation and accountability, even if the likelihood of such action remains low. In reality, most modern royal challenges have been handled through less extreme measures, such as stepping back from public roles or adjusting responsibilities. For Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, their situation is already different from other members of the royal family because they have chosen to live independently and build careers outside the institution. This means that any decisions about titles or roles would involve many factors, including public opinion, legal considerations, and the couple's own choices. It is also important to remember that much of the current discussion is still based on speculation rather than confirmed developments. While it can be interesting to explore possible outcomes, there is no clear indication that any formal steps are being taken at this time. What the situation does highlight, however, is how closely connected different worlds have become. A moment at a Hollywood event, reportedly involving Kevin Costner, has now become part of a wider conversation that includes royal history, legal frameworks, and public perception. This shows how quickly stories can expand beyond their original context, especially when they involve individuals who are already well known across multiple fields. For audiences, it is a reminder to approach such stories with a balanced perspective, recognizing both the interest they generate and the importance of distinguishing between confirmed facts and ongoing speculation. As the narrative continues to develop, the focus remains on understanding what is real, what is assumed, and how each piece of information contributes to the larger picture. As the discussion around the Sussexes and the Hollywood event unfolded, another important theme emerged: the intersection between public image, media influence, and personal reputation. For Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, maintaining a strong and positive image has always been a central part of their strategy since stepping back from formal royal duties. Their move to Montecito, California, was not just a lifestyle choice but also a calculated